Welcome to another episode of How It Happened. Today we have with us Elder Thomas George, who will be sharing with us his testimony of how he became a Seventh-day Adventist and how he got to where he is now. Brother George, how are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I am awesome, thank you. All right, so let's jump right into it. My first question is, did you grow up as an Adventist in an Adventist home, or did you become an Adventist later on in life?
How much time do we have? No, I became an Adventist. I think I was about 16 years old. I was not born an Adventist. There was a tent crusade in my area. Actually, it was held in the discotheque. I don't know if you remember a discotheque. During the week or weekends they have disco music, and that for 5 weeks they had a crusade in that same district and in the same discotheque. And I attended the crusade for several nights. My friends in my area, they got baptized, and they kept on telling I should get baptized, and I resisted. I used to go to the Catholic Church. I used to go ahead and do my confession and my first communion and all this.
Okay.
But that night, the preacher, I remember him very well. He came and he spoke to me, and I decided to give my life to Christ. That was in December. I never forget that day, December 27, 1979.
Oh.
That was 2 days after Christmas. So you could just imagine all the meat we had home, because 2 days after Christmas.
Yes.
My mother, my parents are not Adventists, so we had all the meat here. So when I decided to give my life to Christ, my mother didn't agree, my father didn't agree.
Oh,
So
I can imagine.
the preacher that Friday night, I was supposed to get baptized Sabbath. That Friday night, he came home and he spoke to my mother, he spoke to my father. And, they didn't agree. So the preacher told me, Sabbath morning, come, walk with your clothes, walk prepared, and you're going to get baptized.
Wow.
And that's what I did. I went home Friday evening, Sabbath morning, got up. He picked me up home. The preacher picked me up home.
Wow.
He took me
Yes.
to the church. It was two of us that day. We both went into the water, one after the other. And from December 1979, and I'm still here today.
Amen. December 1979. Now, let's talk about your transition phase. You were not an Adventist, and you said earlier that your parents did not agree with the decision that you made. So what was it like after you got baptized? I mean, living in a house with parents that did not agree with your decision.
Surprisingly, when I got baptized, my mother knew about, not working on Sabbath, not cooking on Sabbath.
Oh, wow.
Surprisingly, when I got baptized on Friday evenings, my mother, somehow she ended up preparing my meals for me on Friday evening.
Wow.
For Sabbath.
Talk about
Because
support.
She knows that, she knew that, I'm not supposed to cook on Sabbath.
Right.
So Friday evening, she would make sure I have my fish fried and whatever. So the transition was not a bad transition at all. And the fact that, I was never a bad boy to say, I never smoke, I never drink anything else beside water.
Oh,
I
wow.
never do anything like bad. So it was not a bad transition for me. It was kind of pretty cool.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful. All right, well, let's talk about getting into Adventism. You said earlier you were Catholic,
Yes.
right? So how difficult was it for you now after you've gotten baptized to do things like stop eating meat, actually keeping the Sabbath, maybe you do important stuff on Saturdays. I don't know, maybe working on a Saturday or going to school or whatever it was. How was that transition for you, keeping the Sabbath?
I would say the main one was not working on Sabbath, because on Sabbath is when we, Sabbath on Sunday, of course, when we go to the beach, when we
Yes.
go to the garden, to plant our garden. Sabbath is the day we will go grocery shopping. Sabbath, we would go to downtown, you know, and do our little shopping. So Sabbath was kind of difficult for me at first. When it comes to eating unclean, and I had no problem with that, you know. But finally, you know, I got myself adjusted to not working on Sabbath, and the food that I was able to eat and not eat, I had no problem with that. Up to a day like today, I don't eat meat. I only eat fish at one point, you know.
Right.
But I never had any issue, you know, living meat and living unclean food and shell food and whatever. As far as alcohol, I never consume alcohol, so that was not a problem for me. So to me, I think it was a very pretty much smooth transition in that regard.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Ha, God has been good. A smooth one, huh? Alrighty. So now you are an Adventist. What were some of the challenges that you faced in terms of your conversion? As a matter of fact, tell us about that time, that point in time when you became converted. You spoke to us about your baptism, right? But tell us about that point in time when you were converted, when your spiritual life got to another level.
Yeah, so on the 10 that night, and I decided, you know, my friends got baptized and everything seems to be going cool, so I decided to get baptized too. And you know, the moment I decided to give my life to Christ, and I began to fellowship with the church members,
right,
I realized what I have been missing. I had so many interests in young girls in the church.
Yes.
I was not the only one interested. They became interested in me too. So I realized how much I have been missing, and we developed some such close friendship that that also helped me, you know, to remain in the church, to remain faithful to God. 79, I mean, since 1979, and some of those friends, we are still friends up to now.
Ah,
Still friends
awesome,
up
awesome.
to now. So, you know, we
Thanks
call
be to
each
God.
other, we communicate, and, you know, we keep in touch with each other. So that transition was very, 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 very helpful for me.
Beautiful. What are some of the challenges that you have faced since becoming an Adventist?
Some of the challenges, nicknames. You know how it is. The moment you get baptized, people call you names, all kind of names. You know, people try to look at you, you know, as this is the worst decision you have made in your life.
Yeah.
When I got invited to certain games on Sabbath, whether it was cricket or soccer, and I say, well, I cannot play, I cannot come. You know, people would look at you, man, what do you think you are? You know, in St. Lucia, we will say, Kisa okwe uye, what do you think you are? You know, that, as much as, you know, it kind of hurt me saying that I could not go ahead and play with them or, you know, associate with them, it also, you know, it also helped me to stay focused.
Yes,
to stay focused. As I grew along in the faith, you know, I became closer and closer to God. A lot of times, you know, I was disappointed in certain things. You know, church is not always the smooth things.
Right.
But as long as you have your eyes focused on Christ, you know, you stay focused and you don't let yourself to be derailed by other things in the world.
Amen. Folks, you heard that. As long as you stay focused, keep your eyes on the Lord. No, you spoke about those rough moments, right?
Yes.
So was there ever a time where you became discouraged? You feel as if God was not there for you. You were searching for this God that you just dedicated and given everything to. Was there ever a time you felt as if there is no God?
There was a time where in my life I prayed for something for over 20 years.
Wow.
Never got an answer. Well, maybe it was answered, but not in the way I was expecting. 20 years, over 20 years praying for something. And I never really gave up. I never lose focus on God. I still kept praying, and my prayer was answered over 20 years. Finally, my prayers was answered. So yes, I was kind of disappointed, along the way, but I never gave up. I never gave up. So for some people watching out there right now, you might be praying for something 5, 10, 15 years. You might be thinking that God is not alive. But my admonition to you is keep on praying. Keep on praying. Never give up. God has the best answer for you. And he answers always, his answer is always right on time.
Yes, indeed. Amen, amen. Our time has fast drawn to a close, and there are some more questions that I have for Elder Thomas George. For example, you're now an elder, and of course, listen, next episode, please don't miss it. Elder Thomas George, we're inviting you to come back again and tell us about your journey to becoming an elder, and the tip that you just gave to those who are watching or those who will watch. I just want to say thank you for sharing that tip to everybody. Never give up on God. Amen. He's right there, always right there beside you.
Amen.
Bye.
Amen.